Well, good evening and welcome back to the channel once again here. Finally in the home stretch of putting this here Briggs & Stratton back in the old Porsche here. We got her off the engine stand. All that's left now is rear main, flywheel clutch, and bell housing. That stuff's all cleaned up. We just got to prep the back of the motor here. New pilot bearing, new main seal. And then if I have enough ambition left for the evening, we'll set it back in this. Go ahead and start by getting all this grease and oil off of here. Probably wouldn't hurt to go over this real lightly with a roll lock. Okay, well, obviously we're not going for a beauty contest back here. Just getting it clean enough where the bell housing mates up to the block, and it tightens up even and whatnot. Now we'll take an attempt at getting this pilot bearing out without destroying everything. Of course, it came out of the old engine just fine. Figures. Well, great. Maybe I gotta sharpen my tip. Probably wouldn't hurt. Here, let's see if that bites. Nope. Holy crap, what's the deal? What the frank? Here you come, you dirty little son of a bitch. Now we have reached a point in this project to where we can make everything we've done all for nothing in a split of a second. Of course, I'm talking about removing the rear main seal. And I've always done it just by drilling a hole and putting in a screw and hooking on some kind of a slide hammer apparatus and slowly working it out. One of those times you don't need overkill. Start with as minimal amount of drilling as possible. I always do. Some guys will put 4 to 6 holes in there and work around. Just start with 2. Work it from each side a little bit. I have a feeling I may need to do more because I'm assuming this has been in there since it was new, 40-something years ago. But I'm just going to start with 2 and just slowly try to work it out. And something I've always done, just as good practice before I went and started drilling on the old seal, just take a moment and study the new one, see what a good point is to drill so you're not nicking the block or, hitting the crankshaft. And there's kind of a groove here, it kind of V's right on the edge. And I think if I go on that piece of metal and just kind of angle it out leastways at the drill bit, shoots through and does crazy things. It'll just hit the inside of the seal, not the block. And obviously I won't be pointing at the crankshaft. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully I don't, wreck everything. All right. Ruining engine. Ruining engine again. Okay. I always make sure to use stainless screws just because they tend to be a little tougher than your average Menards special, you know what I mean? These are actually Chevrolet stainless trim screws. No damage done. No harm. That's good. See? No need for overkill. You don't got to make it look like a clock or nothing. You just need enough to get the job done. All right. This looks extremely dirty. Let's go ahead and clean that up a little bit. Sludgy junk in there, just gotta scrape out, but being mindful and careful not to get anything inside the engine. Oh, I guess they say it's not a bad idea to lubricate these seals a little bit. You don't want much, just ever so slight film so it dries in there easy and doesn't destroy the ribs. Well, this here seal driver definitely isn't a genuine Porsche approved tool, but it is, however, highly recommended by the American Plumbers Association. There. Seat it all the way around. Whoa, whoa. Easy, killer. We ain't in no hurry. The problem I'm having is that the engine is far too slanted right now. Very far too slanted. Well, anyway. Continuing. There, it's in. Not quite. Oh, let's see what's happening. Can we... Easier said than done. Mainly holding me up is this freaking steering shaft. More than likely bent now. Engines aren't bad to put in. The only issue is the entire car that's in the way. I ain't really doing this like Porsche recommends, you know. Okay, we're past the steering shaft. That's good. That's good, yeah. Going down. Hitting something. Hitting oh, we gotta go way forward. Okay. Alright, going down some more, bending the input shaft. Try to check that again. So I don't find out after starting this thing and having a violent vibration. It's in neutral, perfect. Kicking the camera stand. Oh, I should actually... I didn't really check the oil yet. Hey, ain't nothing in it. Probably should wipe that input shaft off. Should probably clean it and whatnot. There. Alright. Go down a little bit. Alright, I gotta go down there and see how close I am to lining up that input shaft to the clutch. Gotta come down quite a bit. The whole torque tube has dropped down so the engine's like this, the torque tube is like this. Engine, torque tube. The goal is to swing the engine up to the torque tube, then bolt them up together, it's 4 bolts, and then hoist the whole thing up into the mounts. That's the plan, and I'm sticking to it, I guess. Unless it doesn't work, then we gotta come up with something different. How far? Whoa, sensitive? Yeah, hard to see what you're doing. Oh, it's kind of like a guide hole. Mine out of the gutter. Okay. Guess we can go down. Just a fuzz. I said a fuzz. Good. Could come in. No, whatever. Whoa. Sorry about that. Oh! Probably not ideal. Oh. Options here. I gotta pick the back of the motor up. Probably do that with my floor jack if this stays out of the way. Alright, here's my current plan. Just gotta lift it up a little bit. That might do it. This is so sketchy. You mother son of. These are not fun to work on. But, good news, it's bolted in. Apparently when gravity decided to take over the situation with the jack and the engine fell down, apparently the input shaft was somewhat engaged in with the clutch disc and moved the clutch disc so the input shaft wouldn't line up with the pilot bearing. Apparently that will affect your ability to install the engine. Imagine that. So we had to take the bell housing off, take the freaking clutch off, line it all back up. Thankfully, nothing was damaged. I don't think the input shaft is bent. This is like the 5th time I've wondered if I bent it. So I spun it, shut one eye, gave it a spin. It wasn't doing this, so hopefully it's good. Anyway, now I guess it's time to hook up that crap in the back, which I wanted to do before I slid it in, but with all the movement and this and that, I didn't feel like ripping wires and sensors apart, so I just decided that I'll just painstakingly go from the bottom and hook them up, along with that coolant hose and all this other random stuff. You gonna help or what? Okay, I don't blame you one bit. Well, I managed to get those hooked up back there. Motor mount in. I just gotta razor up and see that those don't line up. Where'd you go, studs? There we go. It's a sweet sound, ain't it? Of course, the mount would turn, wouldn't you? All right, we're somewhat close. You just gotta go down there and persuade them into place. Found a receipt that I've been missing. I bet it's soaked in grease and oil. What is happening? There we go. Guess I just had to grab it with my hand. Well, what the world? Guess I was thinking they both went in. Stupid. Jeez. It's 2 freaking bowl holes. Come on. Let's go home, huh? One stud wants to go in, the other one is hanging behind for whatever reason. Some bitch. My goodness. What a battle. Lift, tweak, lift, tweak, lift, tweak, lift. Oh, lifted too much, let her back down a little bit, let her down too much, lift up some, tweak, lift, tweak, lift, tweak, lift. And then finally we're there. moment's here. The day has finally come. Where we finally find out if I wasted my money or severely wasted my money. About to fire this thing up. So that being said, let's just get this over with. Okay, got the Smoke and Gears fire department on standby. Oh. Whole lot of nothing. Cable was loose, imagine that. What's going on? Well, seems to be backfiring through the intake. Almost certain I got my firing order right. Alright, issue discovered. We got it set back on the timing marks, TDC on the crank, dot lined up on the cam, and that's supposed to be pointed at number 1, which is over here. I don't know how I goofed that up, but I did. So I'll pull that out and try to clock it better than what it is, and then we'll see what happens. Alright, take 5. Woo! That's something. It sounds horrible. Something's really clunking. That's weird. Well, it did something. It's not puking oil out. Whoa. Ugh. Way out of time. Which way did I go now? Back this way, maybe? Oops. Hope we're not hydrolocking on fuel. That'd be bad. This way. Try to right about there. Was reading oil pressure. Whew! All that oil and crud burning off. Holy mackerel! Good oil pressure, and it's even charging. Sweet. All right. Oh, whew. Safe to say there's a lot of oil inside that exhaust. I don't think that's coming from that engine. There's so much built up in there from the old one. I believe that's why it's doing what it's doing, but let's get some antifreeze in there. Let it run a little bit. Good thing it's windy out. Not that we can tell right away. It's a little too early to tell. We haven't driven it or gotten it hot, but I would think that if I messed up installing any of the front or rear main seals, we'd have known about it by now, and so far it looks good. Reminds me, I forgot to crack the little bleeder here. Apparently you fill it until it bubbles out of there, and I guess they call that full. Uh-oh. Too much? Blown head gasket? Okay, well, we're definitely going to call that a win for right now. It was getting hot pretty quick. I'm thinking it was just because there was probably a big air bubble in the cooling system. I was thinking it was bled out, but I was almost a little worried at first it was maybe a head gasket because of how it blew all that stuff out. I think it was just a big air pocket or something, because once that went away, it started to actually circulate and take on some more antifreeze, but we have no cooling fans at the moment, so it was starting to, it wasn't overheating, it was just, pushing towards the fans that normally turn on, so I shut her down. But good oil pressure, little stumbly yet. Could be maybe a little air in the system here, in the fuel lines, maybe. Sometimes if they sit for a while, at least the other one I have, it misses for a bit until you kind of rev it up and get it cleaned out. Plus, this has all been sitting for, other than this, but the engine's been sitting for 20 years. Valves are sticky, this and that. It's going to take a little bit, but I call that a win. It went into gear, spun the wheels, nothing vibrates, nothing does crazy bad things, no oil leaks. It's a runner. I think that'll go ahead and do it for this video. Next one, we'll toss the front end back on it. We got to get the brakes fixed, rebuild the master, hopefully it'll bleed out, hopefully the calipers and wheel cylinders work, because they're probably stuck on a ship somewhere for some reason, and get this thing out on the road and go for a drive. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and we'll see you later.